True camping scary stories. During a solo camping trip in a remote forest, I settled into my tent for the night. As the sun dipped below the horizon during my solo camping trip, I embraced the tranquility of nature. I set up my tent in a secluded spot, far from any signs of civilization. The serenity of the wilderness was both captivating and eerie. As darkness enveloped the forest, I ignited a small campfire to keep warm and ward off the encroaching darkness. The distant hoot of an owl and the rustling leaves in the wind were the only sounds in the vast expanse around me. As I settled into my tent for the night, the cool night air wrapped around me like a blanket. I tried to relax, but an unsettling feeling washed over me. My instincts were on high alert, and every rustle and creak amplified my sense of vulnerability. Then I heard it, faint footsteps approaching from outside the tent. My breath caught in my throat and my heart pounded against my chest. I strained my ears, hoping it was just an animal passing, but the footsteps persisted, growing louder and more purposeful. Fear consumed me and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. I clutched my flashlight tightly in one hand and a small camping knife in the other. The sound of my heart beating seemed to drown out everything else. The footsteps circled my tent, as if the unknown entity was sizing me up from all sides. I held my breath, praying that it would go away, but it continued, seemingly unperturbed by my fear. Summoning all my courage, I decided to confront the unseen intruder. I unzipped the tent flap, my hands trembling with anxiety, and shone the flashlight into the darkness. My heart sank when the beam of light revealed nothing but the chilling silence of the wilderness. The footsteps had ceased, and there was no trace of any person or creature nearby. I scanned the area, but there was no evidence of anyone or anything that could have made those footsteps. I spent the rest of the night on edge, unable to shake off the lingering feeling of being watched. Sleep eluded me, and I stared at the tent ceiling, listening for any sign of movement. As dawn broke, the forest gradually came alive with the sounds of birds and other creatures. Relieved that the night was over, I packed up my campsite and made my way back to civilization. The phantom footsteps haunted my thoughts for weeks after the camping trip. I couldn't explain what I experienced that night. It was as if an unseen presence had crossed the threshold between the natural world and the supernatural. Since that night, I've been hesitant to camp alone in such secluded places. The memory of those haunting footsteps serves as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that can lurk in the wilderness beyond the comfort of civilization. It also reinforces the importance of being cautious and vigilant when venturing into the unknown, as nature's silence can conceal both beauty and unsettling mysteries. During a camping trip with my best friend, we chose a picturesque spot near a serene lake. The tranquil surroundings and the company of a close friend filled me with excitement for the adventure ahead. As the sun set, we gathered around the campfire, exchanging stories and laughter. The crackling flames and the gentle rustle of the leaves in the breeze set the perfect ambiance for a memorable night. However, as the night wore on, we started to notice unusual sounds coming from the nearby bushes. At first, we brushed it off as some nocturnal animals foraging for food, but the rustling grew louder and more persistent, like someone moving stealthily through the underbrush. My friend and I exchanged concerned glances, suddenly feeling an uneasiness settle over us. We grabbed our flashlight, trying to illuminate the source of the sounds. To our horror, as the light pierced the darkness, we spotted a figure standing at the edge of the tree line. The person appeared disheveled, wearing tattered clothes, and their eyes gleamed with an unsettling intensity. Our hearts pounded as we called out, asking who they were and what they wanted. But the figure remained silent, merely observing us from the shadows. Fear gripped us, and we instinctively moved closer to the campfire, seeking the comfort of its flickering light. but the uninvited visitor seemed undeterred, slowly inching closer to our campsite. A surge of adrenaline flooded through us, and we decided to take action. We called out again, this time with a stern warning, demanding the person to leave immediately. Still, they remained silent, their gaze fixed on us. Feeling that our safety was at risk, we decided to err on the side of caution and retreated to the safety of our tents. We stayed awake, listening for any signs of the mysterious intruder, clutching our camping tools in hand for protection. Throughout the night, we heard occasional footsteps and rustling, keeping us on edge. It felt as though we were being watched, and the sense of vulnerability was deeply unsettling. The first light of dawn brought some relief, but we were still on high alert. We packed our camping gear quickly, eager to leave the area and put some distance between us and the uninvited visitor. As we hiked back to civilization, we couldn't shake off the feeling of being violated and unsettled by the unexpected intrusion into our peaceful camping trip. We reported the incident to the park authorities, hoping they would investigate and ensure the safety of other campers. The encounter with the uninvited visitor served as a sobering reminder that the wilderness, despite its beauty, can also harbor unknown dangers. It reinforced the importance of being vigilant and taking safety precautions during outdoor adventures. Since that unnerving experience, my friend and I have continued camping together, but we now choose campgrounds with more amenities and populated areas. The memory of the uninvited visitor lingers, reminding us that while camping offers a chance to connect with nature, we must also be mindful of our surroundings and prioritize our safety above all else. Gathered around the crackling campfire, my group of friends and I were excited for a night of camping under the starlit sky. After watching so many camping videos on YouTube, we really wanted to experience it as well. The forest around us was alive with sounds of chirping crickets and distant howls of wildlife. We exchanged ghost stories, trying to spook each other for fun, not realizing that something genuinely eerie was about to unfold. As the night deepened, we gradually became aware of a faint, chilling whisper in the distance. At first, we dismissed it as the wind playing tricks on our ears, but the whispering persisted, growing louder and more unsettling. The group fell silent as we strained our ears to catch the elusive words carried on the night breeze. The whispers seemed to come from all directions, making it impossible to pinpoint the source. Nervous laughter turned to unease as the whispers took on an eerie cadence, as if chanting or muttering something indecipherable. We huddled together, trying to comfort one another, but the whispers only intensified. Suddenly, one of my friends pointed towards the dense thicket on the edge of our campsite. We all turned our flashlights in that direction, and the beams of light revealed nothing but the shadowy trees. As we tried to make sense of the situation, the whispering changed tone, now sounding more like mocking laughter. Fear gripped our hearts, and we decided to take refuge in our tents for the night, hoping that the safety of the sturdy fabric would shield us from whatever haunted our campsite. I know, sounds crazy, but we had to make it through the night. Inside my tent, I could still hear the haunting whispers and laughter outside. I tried to convince myself that it was a prank or an elaborate joke, but the genuine fear in my friend's eyes told a different story. None of us managed to get much sleep that night. We clung to the illusion of safety within our tents, dreading what the morning would bring. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, the whispers finally ceased. The forest became peaceful again, but the haunting experience had left its mark on us. We packed up our campsite hastily, eager to leave the unsettling location behind. As we hiked back to civilization, we couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched and the lingering echo of the chilling whispers. The haunting encounter served as a sobering reminder that the forest holds mysteries beyond our comprehension. While we laughed off the ghost stories before, we now had first-hand experience of something unexplainable and unsettling. Since that night, my friends and I have approached camping with more caution. We still enjoy the beauty of the wilderness, but now stay away from secluded areas and prefer to camp in more populated campgrounds. The haunting whispers remain a topic of conversation among us, and even years later, We can't fully explain what we experienced that night. It left us with a newfound respect for the unexplained forces of nature and a lingering sense of wonder mixed with fear. The haunting encounter with the whispers will forever be etched in our memories, serving as a chilling reminder that the world around us may be filled with enigmas beyond our comprehension. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to hear more creepy, scary horror stories every week.